It is the Sports Fix here on Flow FM, and let's take a look at River Murray football results from the weekend. 3 big matches played in the A grade, and Big Bruce is back to help us go through all of the games that were played. Brucey, how are you, mate?
G'day there, Jason. Yeah, big weekend of River Murray football, and some interesting results around the grounds. But I think we could be fair to say right now that looking at that premiership table, we probably expected Meningie, perhaps, and Mannum to be switched around. Definitely Tailem maybe a bit higher, but so that's about the only thing. Other than that, the premiership table looking about what we predicted, eh?
Yeah, it's getting close to that, and we'll check that out in a tick. But big win for Mypolonga on the weekend. That's where we'll start. They needed this. 16-7-103. Ramblers really struggling. They look like the favourites for the Wooden Spoon. 7-9-51. Interesting game of football, but Mypo just absolutely had to win this game, and they didn't start all that well, but they got the job done after quarter time.
Yeah, they certainly did, and as you said, after quarter time, and good second quarter where they kicked 5 goals. But it was probably a danger game for the Tigers more than anything. As you said, they had to win, and they named as their best Jack Klasky, of course, returning from Glenelg this year, an absolute local star. Stephen Mills, one of their Sandful pickups, and Regan Gotch, a young lad that's come through the ranks out there at Mypolonga. Norris named as 4th best, as you would expect. He kicked 5 goals. While for Ramblers, they're better players. Well, as you can see, the Rock of Gibraltar, just 300-odd games. Jared Whalen named as their best, along with Louis Kalei and Jaden Parker-Menzies, a young kid coming through. And as I said in the goal kickers, it was Norris who kicked 5. Mills kicked 4, one of their big recruits. And they were the major goal kickers, whilst for Ramblers, a little bit harder to find. In fact, very hard to find the Ramblers goal kickers. They didn't even name them. But look, fair to say, good win by Mypo. It just keeps them a smidge in touch with the 5. There's still an outside chance, but they got the job done in the end.
An important job. They got it done in the end. And I tell you what, Tailem Bend had an important job to do as well. And they got it done in the end, 11-9-75 to 7-13-55. Mannum were, I guess, fairly poor to three-quarter time. And then, for whatever reason, Tailem Bend went to sleep. Mannum kicked into overdrive and, well, they almost pinched it. I mean, they got within 20 points, but probably were never in any real danger of winning the game.
Yeah, pretty hard to play catch-up footy, isn't it? Tailem had it at half-time, you would have thought, 7-2 to 1-5, and it's hard to come back from 6-goal down at half-time. And as you said, don't know what happened in that last quarter. Tailem perhaps just ran out of petrol, just a solitary point. I guess they knew they had the points banked, but a good fight back by Tailem in the last quarter, winning that quarter 5-4 to a point. So it certainly dominated. Maybe there was a bit of breeze around. I did notice there was a bit of breeze out at Corona where we were, but, these things happen. Mannum named as their best, the tree stump. He's just an absolute gun, the best backman in River Murray of the last 10 years, Michael O'Malley. One of their imports, Harrison Hawkins, named as second best, and Danny Walker, one that's come through the ranks out there at Mannum, homegrown grassroots player, and he really is having a good season early. Along with Tyson Shellen, another one of their homegrown players. For Tailem Bend, it was the imports of Charlie Fisher, Nick Westhoff and Harry Porter named as their best 3 players. And if those guys are up and running, Tailem Bend are in with a show in most matches. Goal kickers for the Eagles, well, they didn't get a big multiple one. It was Smelt and Fisher who shared 3 apiece, and Stephen Clay, one of their Adelaide imports, with a couple, whilst for the losers, Mannum, they just struggling this year to find a big goal kicker up forward. Blake Tabor returning from Sturt, he kicked 3, and he was their multiple kick with Keller a couple, and singles 2 in Port Wiesta and Ballard. But they were too good, Tailem Bend, a game they had to win, and it would have been a lot of talk going around if they had lost that one, that's for sure.
Absolutely, Bruce. And that takes us to what was the match of the round. The reigning champs, Jervois, back on track now, taking on Imperials. And Imperial, They had a slow start again, 6-4 40 to 2 goals straight at quarter time. And after that, they just pegged them back a little bit. Again, the breeze probably a factor in this game, but they couldn't quite peg them back enough, Bruce. And in the end, it was Jervois winning in a cracking game by 8 points.
Yeah, match of the round, Jason. As you said, it was nothing in it in the last quarter, but look, it just had everything. Those big hip and shoulders, and the old Jervois imps of old. And these two are probably odds on at the moment with what results we've had of being favourite for the grand final. Jervois definitely in my book. Look, let's have a look at the better players. For Jervois, they named Braden Smith, who they had to rob Peter to pay Paul. Well, Paul wasn't there. That was Gibbo. And so they had to throw Braden Smith into the ruck. He rucked all day, the young fella, and by all reports did an amazing job, and that's why he was named best on ground. Tyler Miller, Mitchell Noy on half back line, and Luke Klasky, a name synonymous out there, named in their best. Whilst for Imperials, it was Clint Demont, Nathan Dace, Aidan Morrell, and Louis D. Michel named as their best. Goal kickers, well, Benny Hansen kicked 4, surprisingly not in the best players. Certainly the difference in the match, kicking 4, and Owen Love, a good return to league footy for Jervois, been sitting without able to play with work commitments, etc. He kicked 3, and for the Imperials boys, well, it was multiple to Clint Demont with 3, and Johnny Boris was well held with just 2. So a good win to the Jervois Bloods at home by 8 points.
Good stuff, Bruce. Obviously, we're going to preview the matches later in the week. A quick check of the ladder, and we won't go into detail with the ladder today because we'll do that on Friday night during the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. But that top 4 is starting to take shape, isn't it? Jervois jumping up the ladder a bit. Imperials still top at the moment, but Meningie and Salem Bend rounding it out. I don't see that changing too much, to be honest.
Yeah, Imperials, Jervois, Meningie all with 3 wins, Salem Bend with 2 wins, and Manham with 1 win. Yes, I think probably just I still give them a chance just to edge out Manham. But look, there's been that old word COVID with some teams unable to fill a couple of their big guns here and there, which can make a difference at the end of the day. So, yeah, it'll just be interesting. The next few weeks we'll just pan out where it's all heading. But, look, I think we predicted at the start of the year Tailem to be on top and Imps and Jervois in those 2nd and 3rd places. So not too far away. Meningie, they have been the surprise packet, that's for sure, sitting in 3rd spot. And from results thus far, fair to say, Meningie a fair chance to push for that top 3 position, isn't it?
Absolutely, mate. Get around those Bears. I know Markle Mantry will be very, very pleased to see his beloved Bears going all well. Gee whiz, we'll talk more about that on Friday, Bruce, during the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. Look forward to it. You enjoy the week ahead, mate.
Will do. We'll see you Friday night, mate.